na apektado ng ITCZ. At yan ang balita. Ako si Mon Gualvez ng Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Aksyon! 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 News Update!
Ang Aksyon News Update ay inihatid sa inyo ng all-new Isuzu Travis. Transcend your business.
Dahil hindi kasya ang isang oras, ang Power Play ay 2 oras na. Tunghayan ang lahat ng news and updates sa Philippine Sports kasama ang iba't ibang pangalan sa palakasan. Power and Play kasama niyo ako, Noli Iyala, tuwing Sabado mula alas 8 hanggang alas 10 na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Taon-taon, sinisikap ng Philippine Blood Center at Alagang Kapatid Foundation Incorporated na matulungan ang ating mga kapatid na nangangailangan ng dugo. At ngayong taon, kaharap ang isang krisis, tuloy pa din tayong tutugon with our voluntary blood donation drive. Let's donate safe blood to save lives. See you kapatid at the Philippine Blood Center, Quezon Avenue, Quezon City on July 26 mula 8 a.m. hanggang 12 noon.
Sa Oplan Ascenso, pag-uusapan na ang mga isyung may kinalaman sa perang pinaghirapan mo. Where will it go? How will it grow? Feeling rich and curious na sina Gerard de la Peña at Michelle Orosa sa coolest business ideas, hottest business news dahil bagay sa'yo ang mag-level up sa buhay. Oplan Ascenso, tuwing Sabado, alas 12 ng tanghali hanggang alas 2 ng hapon. Plan your Oplan na. Ascenso is just around the corner sa Radyo 5 at 1PH sa Signal Channel 1.
Sa lahat ng mga magigiting nating mga kababayan sa frontline.
Pacheck po ng inyong ID.
Hingang malalim po. Lagi po tayong maghuhugas ng kamay, ha?
Check po tayo ng temperature.
Kayo ang aming mga bayani. Maraming salamat po sa inyong serbisyo. Lahat kami ay saludo at sumusuporta sa inyo.
Hatid sa inyo ng PCOO, DOH, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Transmitting live from our brand new studios at TV5 Media Center and Reliance Mandaluyong. By land, by sea, and on air. Mula sa pinakabaksyong newsroom sa buong bansa. 25,000 watts. Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Iwanan mo na ang lumang tunog ng AM.
Power and Play! Narito na ako, Noli Iyala, kilalanin ang mga nasa likod ng bawat laro. Sa buhay man o sa playing court, game na tayo! Power and Play sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Sa mundo po ng pandemya, sa pagkalipas ng 4 na buwan, nagbabalik na po ang palakasan sa ating himpapawid. The NBA is back! Naku, nakita natin yung mga scrimmages at ating pong pag-uusapan yan. Meron pang ang balita, mga kapatid, na yung liga po ng baseball sa South Korea, maglalaro na merong fans. Pambihira, no? Talaga namang sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo, umiikot na po ang mundo ng palakasan. Ang tanong, nasaan ang PBA? Akala ko ba dapat maglalaro na ngayon pong linggong ito? At least magsiscrimmage na o magpa-practice na ang mga manlalaro. Pero wala pa rin po. At ating pong pag-uusapan yan ngayong Sabado ng umaga sa inyo pong paboritong kasama ng almusal, ang Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala. Magandang umaga po, Pilipinas! Kamusta po kayong lahat dyan? Lalong-lalo na ang ating mga nakikinig sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Sa ating pong taxi squad, sa ating pong mga suki na mga ospital na nakikinig po sa atin ngayon. And of course, dyan po sa mga tahanan ninyo, yung mga nagsisimula na po ng kanilang weekend. Happy weekend sa inyong lahat. Kinakamusta rin po natin lahat ng mga nanonood via 1PH Channel 1 on Signal TV. And of course, on Facebook Live, as well as the Noli Iyala YouTube channel. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. We have a terrific lineup today. Ang dami po nating pag-uusapan, ang dami po nating mga bisita. Of course, mamaya po, inabutan natin, ipapalabas po namin itong interview namin kung saan inabutan namin si Mark Caguioa at saka si JJ Helterbrand, the Fast and the Furious, perhaps the most popular tandem in PBA history. Mamaya po, pag-uusapan natin kung sino yung mga player na talagang ayaw nilang kalaro at paano sila naging very, very close. Makakasama din po natin mamaya yung second part ng interview natin with the Ateneo big man and a prospect sa pagiging naturalized player ng Gilas Pilipinas, si Angelo Kwame. And then, atin din pag-uusapan po yung NBA, yung mga nangyayari ngayon sa Orlando with our resident NBA beat reporter, Homer Sison, live from the United States. At atin din po pag-uusapan yung mga nagbabagang mga issues naman sa Philippine Olympic Committee kasama si Attorney Clint Aranas ng Archery at si Miss Joni Go ng Canoe Kayak Dragon Boat Federation. Marami po yan, ha? At of course, marami pang iba dahil meron tayong papasok na bagong segment dito na magsisimula po ng ating episode ngayong araw pong ito. Pero bago yan, again, paalala po lamang sa ating Give Back Project dito sa Power and Play. Ito po in celebration ng aming second anniversary. Again, kami po ay namimigay ng bisikleta sa Padjak para sa pagbangon, bisikleta, alay sa iyo project ng Power and Play. Last week, binigyan po natin si Wilma Eco at saka si Romeo Mondihar. At ngayon po linggong ito ay magbibigay na naman tayo ng 2 pang bisikleta dun sa mga nagpasok ng inyong mga entry dito po sa Padjak, Power and Play Padjak project natin. Tuloy-tuloy lang po. Yung mga nagbigay na po, kasama pa rin pa kayo dun sa mga hinihimay ng ating komite. Yung pong committee na nagbabasa po ng inyong mga posts. Again, mag-post lamang sa Power and Play kung bakit kayo ang dapat namin bigyan ng bisikleta at sino po ang inyong sports idol. I-like lang ang aming Facebook page at mag-subscribe sa Noli Iyala YouTube channel. Yun lang po, ganun kasimple. Hindi po ito palaro. Ito po ay aming proyekto para sa panahon ng pandemya. Alright, at this point, gusto ko lang batiin before we begin ang aking kumpare, kaibigan, dating PBA chairman, dating POC Secretary General ng isang belated happy birthday, partner Pato Gregorio, belated happy birthday. At this point, gusto ko pong ipasok ang ating pulso ng bayan, yung ating pong pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Pinag-usapan natin yung NBA restart, ang ating pong pupulsuhan ngayon, at sana makilahu kayo. Aling team ang inyong pinaka-inaabangan sa pagbabalik po ng NBA? Aling team ang inyong gustong makita sa pagbabalik po ng NBA? Pulsuhan lamang natin to sa pamamagitan ng aming text hotline 0949-691-4956 o di kaya mag-post sa aming Facebook page Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala at sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. At yan ang ating cue para ipasok ang ating pinakabagong segment dito po sa Power and Play, ang aming tinatawag na Fast Take. At ito pong segment na to, makakasama natin ang mga iba't ibang sports journalists, sports media na nagko-cover ng inyong mga laro, yung mga paboritong laro. At ngayon pong umagang ito, in our initial launch of our segment, tayo po'y mapalad na makakasama ang dalawa sa hinahanga natin manunulat sa sports media, ang Terrado Brothers, si Ruben na nagsusulat po sa spin.ph at si Jonas na nagsusulat naman para sa Manila Bulletin. Magandang umaga, Ben. Magandang umaga, Jonas.
Good morning. Magandang umaga.
Very good to see you. Salamat at kami sinamahan nyo ng napakaaga sa Sabado ng umaga. Alam ko kayo mga media, usually medyo pag Sabado nagre-relax ng umaga. Pero thank you for joining us. Alam mo, pinag-uusapan natin kanina dito yung pulso. I just wanted to ask you, because siguro, Ruben, sino ang pinaka-aabangan mo dito sa pagbabalik ng NBA?
Siguro dalawang team Milwaukee and LA Lakers, no, kasi even before the 2019-2020 season, sila yung talaga nakikitang favorites na magharap and I think ganun pa rin ang magiging sitwasyon in this restart, no. Nakikita natin si LeBron James medyo very very determined, tapos si Giannis in his last game parang walang kalawang So I think yung two teams na yun ang aabangan na
Very nice. Marami nga nagsasabi yan na talagang paborito. Sabi nga nila dapat daw itinuloy na lang sa finals LA versus Milwaukee, wala na itong mga kung ano-ano pang posisyon, ika nga, no? Jonas, on the other hand, nabanggit ko kanina, nagsimula ng NBA, nagsiscrimmage na nga sila, no? Ang South Korea, meron na daw, baka may fans na nga sa paglalaro. Ano nangyayari sa PBA? Akala ko pa dapat magsisimula na ang practices today.
Kasi kung inaantay na lang ng PBA is yung official guidelines mula sa IATF. So hanggat wala yung guidelines noon na hindi pa sila pwedeng makapagsimula. Kaya siguro yung sa Blackwater nangyari dahil problema dahil wala pa yung guidelines. So siguro na-excite sila na sumayag na yung gobyerno. Kaya yan, may issue yung nangyayari yun.
Medyo nagkaroon ng delay dahil doon. Alam naman natin na marami na nag-aabang sa PBA dahil sabi nga ni Commissioner Willie, sana yun ang sinyales ng pagbabalik sa konting normalcy sa ating buhay. Alright guys, meron kaming bagong segment dito, yung tinatawag naming Fast Take, and we're very happy na kayong una namin makakasama dyan. Dito, no right or wrong answer. Pinag-uusapan lang po. Kaya kung ready ka na, Ruben and Jonas, simulan natin. 1 minute per answer lamang dito sa tatlong katanungan na aming ibibigay sa inyo. Ika nga, sa kasabihan, pato-pato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit, usapang sports lang, bawal ang pikon. Alright, simulan natin kay Ruben. Ang tanong po natin, alam naman natin ang nangyari kay Calvin Abueva, ang tagal-tagal ng nasuspinde dahil doon sa kanyang nangyaring insidente sa import ng talk and text at halos isang taon na. Ang tanong, dapat na bang patawarin si Calvin Abueva at palaruin na muli sa PBA? Ruben, you have 1 minute.
I think kailangan ng at matawarin na ng PBA si Calvin Abueva, no? I think yung 1 year na yon na masyado nang matagal. I think nagsisi na rin siya. He publicly apologized to the PBA, to commissioner, to the officials. So I think kailangan ng patawarin. And I believe yung kanyang move na sabihin na kasi si PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall, hindi niya sinasabi kung ano yung mga requirements na kailangan gawin ni Calvin And siguro yung ginawa ni Calvin na sinabi niya in public yung kanyang requirements na kailangan tuparin, like yung drug test and psychological test, really means that nagsusorry na siya na para pinagsisisihan na niya yung nangyari. So I believe kailangan ng patawarin ng PBA si Calvin Abueva para makalaro na siya sana this 2020 season.
Alright, very good. So, mukhang ang dapat na ang sisegundahan ba kaya ito ng kapatid mo? Jonas, you have 1 minute to answer. Dapat na ba na patawarin si Calvin Abueva at palaruin na muli sa PBA? Jonas, you have 1 minute. Go!
Ako sumasang-ayon din ako sa kuya ko kasi I think yung isang taon, more than 1 year na-suspend siya. Si Abueva naman, ginawa niya yung effort niya na mapatunayan niya sa liga na nagbago na siya. At saka bukod doon, inayos din niya yung problema na sa pamilya niya, na magkasama na ulit siya nung asawa niya. At saka ako, niniwala ako na yung clamor kay Abueva madami. Kasi every time na pinabanggit yung kay Abueva, marami nagtatanong, balik na si Abueva, bakit di pa binabalik? So, I think pag bumalik si Calvin sa PBA, big welcome siya. Yun na lang yung pag nalik yung ban sa kanya, yung responsibility na kay Calvin na napatunayan na siya, nagbago na.
All right. Well, alam nyo, very popular si Calvin Abueva. And malaking tulong siya sa PBA. And of course, my take is everybody deserves a second chance. All right, sa ating ikalawang issue, ang ating issue ay yung nagbabagang amendment ng POC. Lalong-lalo na yung isang amendment doon na pinagbabawal yung age limit na 70, yung pinapasa yung age limit na 70 years old na para tumakbo sa POC elections or maging POC official. So ang tanong, sang-ayon ka ba sa panukala na lagyan ng 70-year age limit ang opisyal ng POC? Unahin natin si Jonas. You have 1 minute, Jonas. Go!
Tingin ko, in a perfect world, hindi na kailangan yung age limit na yan dahil kung wala naman sa edad yun, kung capable ka magpalakad ng isang organisasyon tulad ng POC, nakasalalay lang yan dun sa vision mo, tsaka like I said, dun sa palakad. Yun nga lang, itong issue, ang masaklap lang, parang away faction dahil sa kabila sila Kong Bambol, sa kabila yung mga dating allies ni Kong Peping. So, ang nakakalo ko dito, yung dating issue, parang nagka-surface dito sa issue about sa age limit.
Okay. Well, alam natin na may mga nagsasabi na ito daw hindi lang tungkol sa amendment. Ito daw tungkol sa politika. Sana nga, mali tayo dyan. Alright. Again, ang tanong, sang-ayon ka ba sa panukala na lagyan ng 70-year age limit ang mga opisyal ng POC? Ruben, you have 1 minute. Go!
I agree rin with my brother na I think hindi na kailangan ng age limit sa POC If you look at history din kasi dun sa mga naging IOC president, we have Jack Rogue, yung sila Juan Antonio Samaranch. Hindi naman sila, iba nga 70 and 80 Si Juan Antonio Samaranch nga nag-retire 81 siya. So I think wala yan sa edad And I think marami nagsasabi sports and politics don't mix But I think in this age talagang meron And for me, kailangan rin natin ng influence with the other organizations like the IOC, the Southeast Asian Federation. So siguro kasi yung age comes with influence din So I think we need din those yung mga senior officials to also be part of the group in order to katulad yung nangyayari na sa Southeast Asian Federation, we need to lobby for more events. So I think kailangan din natin ng mga experience nila para sa mga ganyang galawan like yung sa mga paglalabi ng mga events.
Alright. Well, alam nyo, ako, ang personal take ko dyan, hindi sa akin importante yung edad. Although sa ibang sektor, ang Supreme Court merong 70 age limit din sa pagretiro. Sa militar meron ding age limit, Pero sa akin mas importante serbisyo. Alright, sa ikatlo nating katanungan sa ating fast take, ang tanong, ano ang magiging epekto kung sakaling tuluyan ng umalis ang Blackwater elite sa PBA? Simulan mo, Ruben. You have 1 minute. Go!
First of all, I don't see na kung itutuloy ng Blackwater yung kanilang intent to sell its franchise. I don't think na magiging agad-agad yan dahil first of all, I don't see any company, at least publicly, na they said na we want to play in the PBA. So, kung itutuloy man nila yung gusto nilang ibenta yung franchise, mukhang matatagalan pa. With that being said, siguro medyo ang maging effect sa PBA niyan is yung job security, yung jobs na mawawala if ever man matuloy yung Blackwater. Kasi nga, kung walang bibili ng franchise, siguro, at kung talagang desidido ang Blackwater, what they'll do is leave of absence. So I think yun ang magiging problema, maapektuhan yung jobs ng players. Especially now na ang marami nagsasabi, yung 12 teams ng PBA, medyo konti na yan What more kung mababawasan pa? So I think malaking impact yung mangyayari in terms of jobs kung mawala itong Blackwater.
Jonas, you have 1 minute. What is your fast take?
Dagdag ko lang, kasi kung sakaling mabili yung Blackwater, may hanap silang potential buyer, kailangan pa ng approval ng PBA Board of Governors na 2/3 vote. So, marami na yung instances na inapprove yung mga nabentang franchises. May yan din before na hindi na-approve. Sana lang yung issue to kasi si Boss Joseldo, after ng nag-react siya doon sa mga sanctions sa kanya. He made an effort to yung mag-reach out sa PBA, sa GAB, para maano yung situation. But I think kung if talagang alis na si Blackwater sa PBA, I don't think si Mr. C will leave basketball for good. Kasi alam naman natin siya, active din siya sa programa ng women's basketball. I think doon na magiging focus niya.
Well, that is well said. Talaga namang eksakto yung mga punto ninyo, Ruben and Jonas. Ako, my personal take is sana lang hindi maging divisive itong issue na to sa PBA. Dahil at the end of the day, tayong lahat ay nasa sa isang basketball world lamang at dapat kahit papano kung may mga pagkakaiba ng opinion, dapat ito pinag-uusapan. Ruben and Jonas, maraming salamat for being our first guest dito sa aming bagong segment, ang aming Fast Take. We'll see you again. Maraming salamat and good luck sa inyong pag-cover ng mundo ng palakasan. Thank you so much, Ruben.
Thank you, Kom.
Jonas.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat. Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating unang pagsubok sa ating bagong segment, ang Fast Take. Every week, magkakaroon tayo ng mga kasama nating sports media na pag-uusapan ng mga pinakamaiinit na topic at trending issues sa mundo po ng palakasan. Alright, at this point, pinag-uusapan yung mainit na topic na yan, yung po sa POC, yung mga amendments na yan. Well, let's get it straight from the newsmakers. Kasama po natin ngayong araw pong ito, walang iba kung hindi ang mga miyembro ng POC Executive Board, ang presidente po ng Archery Federation, si Attorney Clint Aranas, and ang presidente ng Philippine Canoe Kayak Dragon Boat Federation, walang iba kundi si Miss Joni Go. Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Good morning,
Attorney
sir.
Clint.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly. Maraming
Magandang
salamat
umaga
for
po.
taking time out.
Yes.
Maaga sa isang Sabado, Attorney Clint. Ito, hi Joni. Thank you so much for waking up.
Hi.
Okay. I'll go straight to the point, no? Pinag-uusapan na mainit ngayon yung naging talakayan ng POC Executive Board with respect to the amendments that were being proposed, particularly by Mr. Ricky Vargas to the POC na pinag-usapan in a special meeting. Let me ask you first, ano ba ang naging rason kung bakit nagkaroon ng ganito klaseng amendments? And how was it handled in your special board meeting? I'll start with you, Attorney Clint.
Good morning. Thank you for that question. Yesterday we started it off. There was kasi we are doing this constitutional amendment. We formed the committee sometime around February po of this year or January. Was it the January of this year? And for purposes of aligning para po ipagtugma yung IOC and NOC, yung POC bylaws. Kasi na-point out nga ni board member Mikey Jaworski na parang there's some inconsistency po. So, tama po yung ginawa, no? So, for a while, I thought I was even a part of it and later on, I was not. So, anyway, just the same, they came out with the technical working group came out with amendments. Naglabas po sila mga, it was last week Friday yata. Yes, last week Friday. So we sent a position paper. Kasi syempre meron kang amendments.
Yeah.
So since we didn't have time to meet, yung mga those who were not able to participate, we wrote a letter in writing para on record, no? We wrote a letter to the effect showing the position na we were also proposing our amendments to the proposed amendments. And the point is, it's really part of the democratic process, no? So 7 people signed, and then we started. We weren't able to finish that on our Monday meeting. We rescheduled it yesterday. So then, how did it go? We were able to finish. Marami yung na-tackle na unanimous naman ang decision namin. We were not there to stop the flow of amending the Constitution because there's really a need for it.
Okay.
Ano po nangyari po doon? Na nagsimula kami sa Articles of Incorporation, on the issues, there were a lot of issues na unanimous naman ang voting. We took it kasi by provision. So
Okay.
lahat na provisions, okay kami on the Articles of Incorporation. Sa bylaws, we started off really well. Also unanimous. We started dividing the House on the issue of the first issue was that we divided on was the issue on whether or not we are to amend Section 1 of the composition of officers. Now, the proposal by the technical working group was to remove the chairman and retain the immediate past president. So the counter proposal, which we wrote and I signed on, was to remove totally the chairman and the independent past president and all be elected from the general community. Kasi kung titingnan mo lahat na gusto ni-request namin na amendment doon, hindi lang natalakay kahapon dahil mga 5 hours na kami. Gusto namin, if you have the right to be voted upon. In other words, yes sir.
Sandali lang. Let me
yes.
ask you, bakit ayaw na nila yung position ng chairman? Hindi pa traditional.
See, people talk about politics here and whatnot. I don't know where the politics is coming from. That same position of chairman and IPP is not contained in the IOC. IOC bylaw. So we were just trying to follow the bylaw. Sabi ko, ba't natin tatanggalin yung chairman lang? Isasama natin yung immediate past president. By the way, I ran under the same ticket with Miss Johnny Go and who else? I ran with Johnny Go the last time. No? So,
okay, Attorney Clint. There were, and I'll direct this question to Johnny dahil, and I'll go straight to the point dahil meron daw tatlong provisions that became very, very controversial, no, Johnny? This includes the setting up of an age limit for POC officials or for POC positions. Yung pangalawa, yung restriction ng POC officers to represent only one NSA. And the third one is the requirement for an NSA to be recognized by its IF first before becoming a POC member. Ang bali-balita is that yung grupo ninyo, yung sinasabi ni Attorney Clint na 7 na pumirma, had actually quote-unquote blocked some of these issues. Ano ang rason ninyo for, let's go with the first point, yung 70-year age limit, Ma'am Johnny. What was the reason behind yung ayaw ninyo tong particular provision na to, if this was included in the IOC constitution already?
Wala akong marinig.
Johnny? Okay, let's go to, balikan natin si Johnny Mamia. Clint, can you help us with that? Ano ang rason nyo kung bakit ayaw niyo yung provision na yun?
Actually, that was Johnny who proposed an age limit also 80 yesterday. I opposed it.
Okay.
I opposed it on the ground that hindi po ako naniniwala na dapat na there was a majority vote again for an age cap, no?
So
Wala lang 2/3.
Okay kayo na magkaroon ng age cap.
Well, kung nanalo ang 2/3, okay ako. I will go with a majority, with what is the will of the board, no? Ang nangyari ho kasi dito, bumoto rin kasi si Mr. Nico Huelgas kahapon of Athletes Commission. She voted against also the for the removal of chairman and IPP at the same time. Pero hindi rin kami naka 2/3 doon. So,
Okay.
On the other side naman, the other issue was the age cap, which I
Oo.
said, ayoko ng age cap because mental capacity and competence and integrity should be the basis for this, no? No
Oo.
politics in sport. There has to be a reason.
Pero bakit, attorney, kung nasa IOC na yan, na constitution, bakit hindi, sabi nyo nga, dapat pagtukmain yung IOC with the
Yes.
POC, no?
Yes.
Bakit hindi nyo sundin yung IOC na lang?
Let's clarify on that one, sir. Number one, POC by nature. Number one, IOC. Recently, there was a recent kaka-election lang ng IOC. Dalawang board member doon, dalawang vice president nanalo doon above 70. Paano yan nangyari? So, hindi bawal, hindi bawal sa kanila yan.
Okay.
Now, pangalawa, hindi natin sa pinagpipilitan, but you have to respect because POC is composed of an association of associations. It's an association of associations. In other words, kasi maraming NSAs, like kami, wala naman kaming age cap. archery. Other NSAs, if they want their leader, they want them to be represented by a person of competence, integrity, and maturity, whatever age at level, with mental capacity. Dapat ko respetuhin muna. Kung gusto yung baguhin itong constitution, unahan simulan natin sa NSAs. Kasi ang NSA, paano yan? You vote, an NSA like me, what if I voted for a person like Mr. Pelizardo Sevilla, who is above the age cap limit? So, he has the right to vote for a POC candidate, but he cannot be voted upon? So parang weird sa akin yun.
So merong konting inconsistency. Johnny, Attorney Clint was saying na you had even proposed a higher cap for the age limit. What is the rationale behind this proposal, Ma'am Johnny?
Yes, I actually proposed for an 80. Just to compromise with everyone and to pass the resolution that was proposed by the TWG. So I immediately proposed na higher na lang, so that because like Mr. Camacho kasi mentioned that at 77 he is still able, and of course not mentioning that he is running or not, but he said that kaya ko pa. So, and I also believe that etong mga seniors natin, we still need their guidance, no, and and then also their knowledge in running the POC. So, sabi ko sige 80, but then one of the board objected with the proposal.
Was there a reason for the age of 70 na sinasabi ng mga opponents? I heard with Ricky, it's a corporate, they want to pattern it with a corporate setup, no? Okay.
Which is, I believe with the corporate, it's 65. But then, since we are in sports and majority of the seniors naman, they have most of their time to spend with the POC. Kaya nag-propose na ako to make it higher na lang.
Let me go straight, no? Kasi ang sinasabi ng iba, this was politically charged, this was politically motivated because of the upcoming POC elections. But ano ba ang objection ng grupo ninyo? Is it the substantive or the procedural? Because I also heard na may nagsabi, I think it was Mr. Manangkil, who said, parang dumiretso daw yata si POC President Bambol to the IOC rather than consult the executive board muna. So that's a procedural matter. So ang issue ba ng grupo ninyo is both substantive and procedural, Attorney Clint?
Yes, ang gusto lang namin ng grupo, transparency and maayos lang na pamalakad. Good governance lang ho tayo. Wala ho kami. In fact, I voted in favor of Kong Bambol so many times, no? And there were unanimity in a lot of votes there. Only is that I have to make a representation also for the other members of the General Assembly who are above the age cap limit, no? I am a representative of the General Assembly as well. I was voted from the General Assembly. So hindi pwedeng tahimik lang ako lahat doon because I had to, and a lot of people thought that mental capacity, competence, and integrity is very important. It's really important. Over, you're limiting yourself from choices of getting the best of the best. Why not?
Okay.
Diba?
Well, alam mo, and I'll ask Johnny, of course, we know in the Supreme Court, meron ding age limit ng mga justices. They have to retire at the age of 70. In the military, you have to be out by, I think, the age of 54 or 55, something like that. So there is an age limit. But of course, ang presidente natin is above 70. No? But Johnny, could this have been resolved by saying na lahat ng proposals will take effect after this election? In other words,
yun ang gusto namin.
Moving forward, Johnny?
Actually, pwede naman, but since they already pushed for us to meet for the amendment of the bylaws, then we have to comply and discuss. In fact, we actually welcome inputs, no, from other members, and sabi nga nila, let's rationalize everything first before we pass. Let's discuss. But then I was surprised that they will oppose with the, sabi ko, 75 to 80. Konti lang naman yan eh. Just to come up with a compromise. I really hope that it passed yesterday, but then yun nga, hindi pa rin natuloy.
Well, Attorney Clint, you were saying yun nga ang gusto ninyo, but parang ang lumalabas kasi ang nangyayari ngayon is hindi nagiging exchange of ideas, pero ang lumalabas sa media is parang it's again the rule of the numbers.
Sir, let me take you on severally some points here. Number one, rule of numbers is a point of democracy. No, that's why si Kong Bambol is an elective official. Obviously, it is not a tyranny of numbers that he won, or Kong Pichay, or the other, or Rudy Duterte, who won by a wide margin. It's not a tyranny of numbers, but it is that is the will and choice of people. That is a process of democracy. Pangalawa, we are not politicians. We're very apolitical. Ako, I'm very apolitical. If you look at my history, sir, I'm very apolitical. So, and we were very objective. We were very objective. In fact, I was voting against Johnny Go yesterday. So, does that mean na nagkaroon kami ng kontsabo? You know, she was aiming for an age cap. I didn't believe in an age cap. So, you know, that's not even awkward for us because we were talking to each other, deliberating as a body of individuals who wants to bring out the best of our organization and to represent our people properly.
Okay. So at the end of the day, walang nangyari sa mga amendments. What is the situation, Joni? I heard of the word stalemate. Does this mean itutuloy pa rin ang discussion?
No, actually, may nangyari. We have passed some resolutions, some amendments. It was passed. It was agreed by majority of the board. But then it was only those two items na there was a division of the House. So after that, the meeting was adjourned and by the President. So yun lang kami hindi nagkasundo. But all the rest, we were able to pass some resolutions naman, some amendments.
So is this going still to be calendared, Attorney Clint? Just as a final question.
Well,
Pag-uusapan pa ba to?
Sir, I'm hoping dapat pag-usapan nito dahil hindi pa tapos. Kasi when yesterday, when, we were not unreasonable, we were there for 5 hours already. We didn't mind to tackle it the whole day. But, you see, suddenly, nag-move kasi parang, hindi nagustuhan ni President Bambol yung natalo yung kanyang proposal. He moved for the adjournment. And sabi ko, obviously, wala na mangyari dito. You know what, sir? This was all recorded by our by the Secretariat of the POC. It's the best evidence is there. When he moved for the adjournment, I seconded because of in the mind that this will be maybe where everyone's tired, that we will reschedule for another meeting. Hindi pwedeng walang nangyari. Imposible because the whole amended Articles of Incorporation was amended unanimously. We agreed on they wanted to remove certain provisions, like if you're an officer of one organization, you cannot be an officer of another corporation organization. So we supported him on that, on his proposals naman, no? But syempre, in a world of in a democratic process, him among all na who is a politician should understand how deliberations and these things work, di ba?
Okay. Well, in fairness, we tried to get Congressman Bambol also to join us in the show, but we will try to get his position. Alam ko matagal pang talakayan to, and there will be many more meetings to come para po matapos to. Kami from Power and Play, we just wish that the POC will get back to work with respect to the I think
we are eager, sir. We are eager to go back to work. We are eager to back to
Thank
work.
you so much. Well, thank you so much, Attorney Clint. Thank you, Ma'am Joni, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Salamat. Thank you so much. Yan po mga kaibigan, ng mga opisyal ng Philippine Olympic Committee, ang board members si Attorney Clint Aranas and the auditor si Ma'am Joni Go ng Philippine Canoe Kayak Dragon Boat Federation. All we want here is a swift resolution. Alam niyo po, yung POC, sobrang daming politika. Minsan nakakaantig ng ating damdamin dahil ang gusto naman natin talagang sports lang, di ba? Matulungan ang ating mga atleta. But I'm sure maayos yan. Yung mga yan very, very, very sensible people. All right, at this point mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa talakayan ng mga issues. Last week pa natin gusto makasama itong mamang to but we're happy that he's finally here with us. Ang Executive Director ng UAAP, si Attorney Rebo Sagisag. Good morning, Attorney Rebo!
Hello, good morning. Nabanggit mong last week ko pala ako, sorry
Hindi, okay lang. Alam ko naman lahat kayo ang daming ginagawa. Lalo na pag Sabado na umaga, minsan gusto nyo rin galing sa mahabang gabi o di kaya puyatan. Kaya, Attorney Rebo, I'll go straight to the point. Today is before anything else, no? Today is your online virtual closing. I understand, no? Sa UAAP.
Correct.
Totoo
Yes.
ba yun? After all of these things, hindi natuloy ang mga second semester sports,
Right.
tumigil ang UAAP abruptly. Anong pakiramdam, Attorney Revo, na you're
Well, I wouldn't
disclosing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say naman na happy tayo no sa mga nangyayari. However, every opportunity, every problem rather is a opportunity for growth. And in fact, if I can quote, I'll go Winston Churchill, no, never let a good crisis go to waste. So for the first time, no, of course we'd rather have it live na face to face. Kaya lang, these are things that we've never explored before, and because of the crisis, well, it is a crisis. We are able to work around it naman. And it's actually life, no? It's how you react to it, not what happens to you. So I'm very excited for the first time we'll be holding an online closing ceremony.
Medyo nawawala yung... Okay. Attorney Rebo, there was one rule na ipinasa ng UAAP. This is the extension of graduating students. Ano po yung rason dito? At ano ba talaga yung hinahabol ng UAAP dito sa pagpapapasa nitong bagong policy na to?
Which one? Which one ito?
Ito yung extension ng mga fifth-year players, yung mga dapat gagraduate na hindi nakalaro sa second semester sports. Lalo na sa volleyball, I suppose.
Oh yeah. I guess I mean the logic is no, you simply don't count this a playing year kasi hindi naman sila naglaro. Well, technically volleyball went on from mga 2 to 3 games, but basically if you don't consider it as a season, then we don't consider it as a playing year. So I think and hindi naman siya it was very easily accepted by the 8-member schools.
Pero may tanong ako diyan, no? So parang pwede pa sila maglaro for next year, di ba, Attorney Rebo?
Yes.
Anong impact nito sa rookies? Yung mga papasok naman dapat. Kasi alam naman natin sa schools, parang meron yung mga pool of players na pag nag-graduate, meron na nakahandang papasok sa susunod na taon, di ba? So yun naman mga
Correct.
rookies, maapektuhan dahil konti lang yung pa rin ang slots ng team o dinagdagan ba ng UAAP yung slots para makapasok pa rin yung mga dapat na papasok sa susunod na taon?
Well, we leave it to the individual member schools. So, kasi to begin with, especially for, as I know, sa basketball, 12 lang naman ang lineup sa FIBA, but we allow 16. So, talagang may allowance na kami to begin with. So, we leave it to the individual member schools on whether or not they would recruit more rookies or i-retain nila yung full lineup nila next year. So, bahala na sila. That's school.
Okay, so in other words, walang pagpapalit sa dami ng lineup dahil marami na yan. Just it's enough for to accommodate both incoming and yung mga monthly retain. Okay. Let me go to the issue of the next year. Meron na bang desisyon ng UAAP kung ano ang mga sports na itutuloy nyo just in case? And what is the UAAP doing for the restart? Have you written the IATF? Meron na ba tayong mga hakbang na ginawa para po itulak ang collegiate sports?
Well, okay. Here's the thing, no. The only reason, well, ang maganda rito is we have a trial balloon out sa yung Bubble City na NBA. So we will see how it goes. But basically, I know that locally, the PBA and the PFL under the GAB has taken steps. However, ang problema kasi dito, well, as you know, no, yung in loco parentis ng mga eskwelahan. So whatever standard that everybody has, parang we have to take a more stringent approach. So yung peg talaga namin, everything else on the table still, no? But ang peg talaga namin is still first quarter of February or March. But we are still closely observing everything, and we're in coordination with the DOH and PSC on how we can slowly integrate sports back into our system.
So at the end of the day, ang una pa rin priority ng mga schools, of course, ang kaligtasan ng mga students, no, and the student athletes.
Yes.
I think that seems to be the message that the UAAP sending na yes, sports is important, pero mas importante pa rin ang kalusugan ng ating mga student athletes, no?
Yeah, pa-emphasize lang no? Pa-emphasize ko lang yung point kasi we forget kung wala pang face-to-face classes, alang naman maglaro tayo. Di ba pati nga klase naka-online eh.
Correct.
So
Correct. Tama.
that's the thing.
That's
that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay, I guess the other issue that many people are asking is your TV coverer.
Oh my God.
Nangyari po sa inyong TV coverer. Although
Yeah.
I understand that ABS-CBN will still be covering your virtual closing today, of course
Yeah.
in their cable channels. But ano ba ang step? The coverer has already announced that they will not continue, and ano po yung mga consideration na tinitingnan na ngayon ng UAAP for your next coverer? Is this going to be a bidded or is this going to be negotiated?
Ganito, no? Actually, I can't, it's very sensitive matter. However, this much I can say. Yung conception ng mga tao na because of the denial of the franchise and the closing down of the sports division does not in itself take ABS-CBN out. Of course, mag-iiba yung offer, mag-iiba yung arrangement. But tuloy naman, yun yung sinabi ko dati, akala ng mga iba, I was misquoted na parang we're already looking for other partners. It was always a consideration naman. Ang steps is exclusive negotiations, pag-usapan, kung hindi, then we can go to market, then evaluate all our options. So it's still the same, pretty much the same. So tuloy lang. Oo. We're still evaluate our options.
So walang mga issues about whether this is dapat nasa UHF channel, wala po yan, hindi po consideration yung mga ganyan.
That in itself, hindi. Kasi we have to take the whole thing holistically kung ano ba gusto namin. Marami namang ibang nuances on how to approach it. We can be a production partner, etc. But mahaba pa ang laang usapan.
Alright. Well, Attorney Repo, marami po kami napulot ngayon sa inyong mga pananalita. We're really happy that you joined us today, and I'm sure patuloy natin tututukan ang developments ng UAAP. Good luck on your virtual closing and congratulations on Season 82.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat. Yan po mga kaibigan ng Executive Director ng UAAP, Konsehal ng Makati, Attorney Rebo Sagisag. Alright, ang daming mga bali-balita ha. Tuloy-tuloy po yan ha. And right now, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa pagbabalita. Of course, gusto lang natin batiin lahat po ng mga nakikinig sa atin. At this point, si Alex Fuentes, ang ating suki from Bacolod City. Magandang umaga po. Joy Abaha, of course. Si Ronald Katampatan. Si Ara Parido and family. Uy, si paring Michael. Kuya Mike Uy, nandyan. Efren Cinto, Arvin J. Biaga. Si Ana Mohe, and si Enteng. Mamaya, kita-kita tayo. And si Nia Cristina Tan. At this point, mga kaibigan, NBA naman ang pag-usapan natin at konting boxing. Kasama po natin ang ating resident NBA correspondent live from Chicago, USA. Walang iba kundi si Homer, the home run Sison. Good morning, good evening dyan, Homer.
Good evening, Commissioner. I'm happy to report that I still have 18 years before ako makatakbo ng BOC board member. I'm only 22. So,
kung ilababa sa 70, alam mo naman ang mga ang dami nilang usapan na. But no, let me go straight to the NBA, Homer. Perfect record ang COVID nila. Walang tinamaan ng unang assessment. Are you surprised? And is this now a model to be followed by a lot of leagues in the US na ito pala ay feasible? It can happen, although it's very expensive.
Very expensive. Yung nga sabi ni Rebo, it might be a template for UAAP or even the PBA. But the only problem is, do they have the financial wherewithal to have the tests every day, as much as how many tests they have every day? Because there are 32, at least 33 staff member of a specific team. And you add it to 22, multiply it to 22. Ang dami. And then with the resurgence of COVID cases, then it becomes also a political issue. The local leaders would say, bakit pa prioritize ng mga atleta when we have also problems here? But going back to the zero test, it's promising, Commissioner. Of course, when you have 324 tests and there is zero positive, ang ganda, it's very promising. But by the same token, this is like a politician's popularity rating. The only numbers that matter really is the numbers that come out the day after the election. So, itong test na to, there's so many variables pa rin, Commissioner. Tingnan mo, as of today, Lou Williams umalis ng bubble. You have Austin Rivers umalis ng bubble. Russell Westbrook had coronavirus and he just came back. And you have to remember, the virus could marinate up to 14 days in a system, although wala kang symptom. But then, like I said, if I'm Commissioner Adam Silver, I'd rather take 0 than 2 any other day of the week. So
Totoo yan.
maganda, napaka-promising. But then like I said, fingers crossed pa rin because there's so many things that could still happen moving forward.
Alam mo, pinag-uusapan mo yung mga lumalabas ng bubble. There was a player reported yesterday, Domantas Sabonis, had a foot injury, a significant foot injury ang report. At siya ay kukuha ng treatment outside of the NBA bubble. And obviously, he will have to, it's either he misses the entire season or he will go back under very strict protocol. Ang tanong ko is, I know that the NBPA has said that they will fight for yung hindi pagkaltas ng mga benefits ng mga players na lumalabas, opting out, the strong voice of the Players Association. What is the latest in terms of that? I know Victor Oladipo is even thinking of opting out still. Anong balita dyan, Homer? Sila ba ay mapipenalize, makakaltasan?
Yes, the league, they're still in a tug of war. Commissioner Adam Silver they really haven't compromised yet. But the positions are this. NBA Player Association says, Oladipo did not play, but he traveled to Orlando, he practiced, and as far as the Indiana Pacers are concerned, services have been rendered, so babayad sila. But they have no problem giving him the remainder of his $3.8 million salary, which is the remainder sa 21 million for this season. The problem is, this is what the NBA is safeguarding. Said, we don't care, we could care less kung pera ng Indiana Pacers yan. If they want to pay him, it's fine. It doesn't come out of our coffers. But the NBA wants to set a precedent. Kasi kung yung mga star player ayaw nang lumaro, you mentioned Domantas Sabonis. It is plantar fasciitis. If this were the playoffs, Commissioner, and Indiana has a chance to win, he will play with pain. You better believe it. But because the Indiana Pacers will not win the title this year, and he just signed a 4-year, $75 million contract, which kicks off next season. If I'm Indiana, I'd say, let's hold off him. Hindi naman tayo manalo ngayon. And the bubble is a few months. So why would you risk the health of your good players? So the NBA, just to make sure na not to create a precedent na some players would not play because they know that their teams will pay them anyway. So the NBA said, okay, no pay, no play. So right now it's still a stalemate.
So far, the scrimmages have started at nakikita natin yung mga manlalaro. Who has been the most impressive? We've heard about Bol and his double-double. Who else ang nakikita mo that has been very impressive on scrimmage?
There was a minor miracle yesterday. Ben Simmons made a 3-point shot.
Oh,
so
good for my team.
Yes, very good for your team. But you know what, Commissioner? Itong scrimmage, I don't really pay attention. I look at the highlights because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't count in the standings. Pero ang maganda lang, it's like a promissory note. This is a promise that tomorrow there will be something bigger. It is like the hug before the kiss. Pero two things to consider. When the games matter, Bol's not gonna play 28 minutes, Commissioner. When the games matter, Jamal Murray is gonna play point guard, not Jokic. So you have to take that into context. Yung laro ng, for instance, ng laro ng Dallas Mavericks at Lakers yesterday.
Yes.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis didn't play in the second half.
Yeah. So, and Dion Waiters played a lot of minutes.
Yes, of course, and he will not play when the games matter. So sabi ko lang, it is not a faithful barometer. But because of the dearth of, nami-miss na talaga ng mga fans, so whatever you can consume. So magkikita mo sa highlights, it may even make Sports Center. But pag simula na July 31, when the rosters are finalized, when everybody is in there, when the games really matter, that's when I begin to make the assessment. Kasi itong si Bol, like I said, he's not gonna make 6 blocks. He's not gonna have 11 rebounds. Pagdating na ng mga big guns, naglalaro na talaga yung mga starters.
Alam mo talagang the NBA is the ultimate thinking machine, as I mentioned in my Twitter feed. Talagang lahat naiisip nila, and particularly, of course, the scrimmage games being televised. This is a glorified practice game, obviously, but and yet this is a way to generate the interest. But talking about generating interest, let me ask you, yung mga na-eliminate o yung hindi nagpunta sa Orlando, tuloy pa ba yung plano nila to have their own little bubble and have their own tournament going on?
Yes, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, I just read this yesterday, the NBA is just waiting. If this holds up, itong zero test and all these things, if the bubble would somehow hold itself up, then it's a go for the 8 teams here in Chicago. And that is also the reason why the Chicago Bulls are holding off firing Jim Boylan, yung coach nila, because they said that we would like to see him actually manage the team when they're playing, to give a really good, input analysis on whether to keep him or not. So
Well,
it's still up in the air.
yan mapapanood mo na kasi sa Chicago na talaga. Ito,
Yes,
let me go to another topic just before I let you go, Homer. Boxing. We heard the announcement of Mike Tyson. Actually, may nagtanong sa akin ito sa Twitter asking me to ask you. Meron laban si Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. It's an exhibition 8-rounder with a backup of Nate Robinson versus this YouTube star si Jake Paul.
Yes.
What is your sense out of this? What is this for? At ito kaya what are your expectations?
Nothing. It's just like, it reminds me of the movie with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. It was too late when they came together in the movie called Righteous Kill. If they had made a movie together during their prime, iba yung usapan yon. But Mike Tyson is already 54 years old. He has more problems than China right now. And then, alam mo, ito si Roy Jones, he is also in a financial bind. I will never discourage a person who wants to make a living. That's free enterprise, democracy. But if you really want, if you want to buy this pay-per-view and you have an expectation na magaling na laban to, you would only set up yourself for disappointment. Because if you remember, Tyson's last fight, he quit on the stool against a guy named McBride, Danny McBride.
Right.
Kevin McBride, I'm sorry. So he has nothing more left to give. Ito makita mo, it's very deceptive kasi people see the video of Mike Tyson. Pap, you see the...
mabilis.
Yeah, bilis mo. But just like a person, sabi ng doktor, when a person dies or loses his thing, the last thing to go is the healing daw. With the boxer, the last thing to go is the power. So the power is still there. But, Commissioner, at 54, the reflexes are no longer there. That's why I could no longer beat my son in basketball because he's 16, I'm 52.
Si Nate Robinson, very quickly. Si Nate Robinson, what is he doing in a boxing fight?
He's shorter than my mother. He's 5 foot nothing. Pero he's very dead. Ito yung YouTube star din to si Jake. He already fought before. And it's not easy to, madali mag-assume na kasi athlete si Nate Robinson, pero iba yung skills na required, Commissioner.
So this is all for show?
It's all for show. It's really nothing. Hindi to kagaya ng power and play. Na talagang the real show.
Well, at least we know that Mike Tyson can still run for the POC for 16 more years.
Yes, 16 years.
Homer, maraming salamat.
Shout out, Commissioner. I lost you.
Thank you so much for joining us again. And
Commissioner, my shout out? One shout out?
Fans. Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Yung nephew ko, Commissioner, PJ Cabigon in Las Vegas, a very big fan of yours. Kasi lumaki siya sa Cebu before migrating here. He was in high school. You were the commissioner of the PBA.
Wow.
So every time I go... Yes, he just became a father recently. Tapos yung baby niya, si Peyton Adrian, and sa mga relatives namin na nagtatanong, PJ is fine. He did not deliver the baby. Pero yung asawa niya, si Angeli, is very fine. So, Commissioner, thank you very much, PJ. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating kaibigan, ang ating resident NBA correspondent, Homer Sison, live from Chicago. Naku, dami natin natalakay. At this point, gusto po namin magpasalamat sa lahat ng mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa Tibay. Maraming salamat po kay Engineer Gilbert Cruz at ang buong staff niya. Basta may kailangan kayo sa inyong mga proyekto, Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa Tibay. Maraming pong salamat din sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Paring Elmer Ngo, thank you so much sa lahat po ng tulong. Cherry Loom, of course, available at all leading hardwares. Basta may pangangailangan kayo sa inyong roofing materials, Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Thank you also to Elms Kapihan and Bar. Ang Elms Kapihan, mga kaibigan, ay mahanap sa Calle Bistro, dyan po sa Quezon City. Nandun din po sila sa Capitolio Pasig, sa Robinsons Novaliches at sa Poblacion Makati. You may call mobile number 0977-157-0499. Elms Rest Bar Group. Thank you also to Joyride, ang bago nyo pong kasundo. Use Joyride delivery and pabili when buying from your favorite shops and restaurants. Available ngayon po sa buong Kalakang, Maynila at sa mga karatig po. Now at our lowest prices ever, you can book all your delivery needs at garantiyang makakarating po to. Just download the Joyride and Happy Move app. Maraming din po salamat sa Maquillage Professional, ang aming pong official School of Makeup Artistry. Thank you also to Dr. G. Sarmiento at si Doc Richie Sarmiento ng Skin, Face and Body Anti-Aging Center, accepting dermatologic and pathologic treatment appointments for consultations and treatments. Strictly no aesthetic treatments, open daily from 11 to 7 p.m. For appointments, call us sa ating po mga numero 0917-890-1640 or di kaya sa landline 553-5017 or mag-post lamang po sa Skins Facebook page or Instagram. Alright, mga kaibigan, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga sumusuportin. We are done with our first hour. Magpapatuloy po tayo sa ating second hour sa pagbabalik po ng Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom. By the way, bago tayo mag-break ito lang po yung ating pulso bigyan lang po natin ng ating pulso ng pagkakataon. Ito po mula kay Miko Santos, basta attorney at may politiko ay siguradong babaksak ang POC. Nako, ito yata yung kanyang sinasabi tungkol sa POC. Mula kay Melvin Martisano, ayun po ang problema sa POC. Pag pinasok ng politiko, ang kawawa, mga atleta, etc. Medyo galit ito si Melvin Martisano. At of course, yung mga iba pong nagsabi pa. Mamaya babasahin pa natin yung ating pulso. Alright, we'll take a quick break. Ito pong Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala. Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Ang oras, 9 o'clock. Oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Fuji Denso.
Fuji Denso Home and Commercial Appliances, where you get reliable, durable, and energy-saving features in all our products. So choose wisely. Choose Fuji Denso. Fuji Denso is available in all leading appliance stores nationwide. Fuji Denso, quality above all.
Taon-taon, sinisikap ng Philippine Blood Center at Alagang Kapatid Foundation Incorporated na matulungan ang ating mga kapatid na nangangailangan ng dugo. At ngayong taon, kaharap ang isang krisis, tuloy pa din tayong tutugon with our voluntary blood donation drive. Let's donate safe blood to save lives. See you kapatid at the Philippine Blood Center, Quezon Avenue, Quezon City on July 26 mula 8 a.m. hanggang 12 noon.
Transmitting live from our brand new studios at TV5 Media Center and Reliance Mandaluyong. By land, by sea, and on air. Mula sa pinakabaksyong newsroom sa buong bansa. 25,000 watts. Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Iwanan mo na ang lumang tunog ng AM.
Alright mga kaibigan, nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Ito, basahin ko very quickly ay mga nagpadala po ng konti nilang pagpulso sa ating tanong. Sinong inaabangan nyo sa pagbabalik ng NBA? Good morning, Sir Noli. Ako po, I'm looking forward po sana matapat ng LA Lakers at Clippers sa West Finals at matinding laban yan. Robert Hoson, ito masugid ninyong taga-subaybay. Thank you so much, Robert. Ito naman galing sa kay, walang pangalan, numero nagtatapos sa 9208. Kahit anong mangyari, Golden State Warriors pa rin kami. Meron sana kaming hiling mga taga Mindanao na sana may replay sa mga laro na maririnig sa Radyo 5, laro ng PBA. Alright, papaabot natin yan. Mula naman sa isa pa nating pulso. Good morning, Com Noli. Sa pagbabalik ng NBA, gusto ko talagang makita at subukan ng dalawang LA. Sana sila magharap sa West Finals. Gabriel Rafa ng Kabuyao, Laguna. Maraming salamat po. Marami pang nagpadala pero medyo kailangan na nating ipasok. Next segment, ito po yung pagpapatuloy ng interview, yung part 2 ng ating naging panayam sa Ateneo Bigman at Gilas Pilipinas Prospective. Walang iba kundi si Ange Kwame. Panoorin po ninyo.
It's very, very good. But when you saw Coach Tab Baldwin and you met him for the first time, he had you. What was your first impression about Coach Tab? And were you scared of Coach Tab Baldwin?
I was scared. And the funny thing is, I didn't know how to speak English. So whatever he told me, I was yes. All my answers was yes, yes, yes. Even if I know, if I understand, I don't understand. I used to say yes. But with the time, see his experience and how he loved, how his passion for the game is so super high. I really loved it. Like I was surprised, I was shocked, and I love it at the same time. He's a hell of a coach.
Well, we know that he's been very successful. Ateneo is on a terrific run in the UAP. What do you think is the key to your success in the Ateneo? What do you think is the championship formula that you've been able to put together in the team?
I think hard work, I would say, because when I compare myself when I first came here until I started to enter the UAP, it's a different. I see two different persons. So it was like a year for me when I have to learn where I'm really high as a player, and improving every single day, getting better, and going toward let's say greatness. Even if I know I'm not even there, and I still have a lot where I have to learn on it from. So
a lot of hard work, and I guess it's really trademark.
Also, I had to be patient on myself.
Yeah. Let me go to that. When you started with the Ateneo, obviously there were a lot of things in your game that needed to improve. And what were the things that you worked on to get you to this stage now in your career?
I would say playing big man, because when I first came here, I was the type of big man who liked to dribble the ball. And going to Ateneo, he wasn't gonna be possible since you have like so many good point guards and players around. So you just have to stick to your job, to what you being asked to do. So I have to learn. I have to learn to be a big man. Great shout out to Coach Alton, Lister, really helped me in this process. He's a big man thing in NBA. So have this experience, added to my game was, impressed for me, and I'm so blessed for it.
Well, you really had terrific mentors, as you said, Alton Lister, of course, Coach Tabs, Coach Sandy, and Coach Yuri. Coach Gene, of course. When you talk about all of these things, let's talk about your toughest matchup in the UAAP on the other side. Obviously, this also made you a better player. Who do you think was one of those players that really pushed you the hardest, aside from being, an opponent, but also as a friend who really pushed you to play even harder in the UAAP?
Opponent from other team, you mean?
Yeah. Who challenged you?
I think one of my toughest, the strongest was what is his name? The guy from Adamson, Papi Sarr.
Papi Sarr
used to be the strongest. Yeah. But the challenge, the person who were a really good challenge for me was, I would say, Bright Akweti, because he knows the game and he has a lot of experience.
Well, obviously Papi is no longer going to be there. Bright will be in the coming UAAP season, so I guess that's still a motivation for you to continue to play hard against him.
They always have a motivation, when you look for.
How do you feel about your current team now? A lot of people have graduated. You talked about Isaac Go, who's no longer going to be there. 30 won't be there. How do you feel about this new batch, including the new players of Ateneo?
It's promising. I mean, we have a lot of talent, so much good talent, and it's coming. Like let's say it's a new team. Let's say the other team went with their stories. The coming, we have to eradicate them with the culture and everything. And since I am on my third year, it kind of became like let's say a leadership for me also, because I remember when we really first started practice, he kind of looked different, but now be able to see all of them put them work and everything. I think it's really promising when you look at like the roster, the coming roster. We have so much talent. They're really talented. They're really good, and we have to know each other and adjust to the culture, sacrifice yourself for others and everything. So that is the part that we really have to be focused on.
All right. I know, and let's go to the topic of the naturalization. Ange, there have been news that you have started the process of trying to fix your documents and prepare for naturalization. You have been endorsed by Congressman Puno, who is also the vice chairman of the SBP. This is a big decision for you. Why did you agree to go through this? And I guess you understand the responsibility and the consequences of this decision.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I've been thinking a lot, especially when I went back home. Me and my mama's like a long talk where she was worrying about everything. Like if I really want to step out and because, I see it as a good opportunity for me also to show the entire world, like, where I'm going to and where I can put, like, how I can invest myself to something that I really like and I really want to do. So it was a tough decision for me because, you going to something that I'm not really familiar with, and I don't even know what's gonna happen in the future. But all I'm sure about is I'm deal with myself to give 100% of myself every single time, that I'm going to something new like that. And so
you understand, Ange, that by electing to be naturalized, and play for the Philippine team, you won't be able to play for your native country, Ivory Coast. Is that something that you're satisfied, you're 100% at peace with, and of course your family?
It's something that I'm satisfied, but it's not that I feel like, because sometimes you feel like giving up on your own country, but it's all dependent on myself, like what I really see, because they didn't see me grow as a player. So coming from that, I want to be able to be part of something that I find, because like I said, I really find my Philippines as my second home. So I really love not just the basketball side wise, but also the culture and everything around. So it's more coming from that. I'm a challenger. I like to challenge myself.
Mm-hmm.
So stepping on it, it's something who's gonna bring me to let's say the next level. That's why I step on it. And
very good. Well, we know that you're coming into a pool of the Gilas naturalized players. What are your expectations getting into the pool of the national team, if and when you become a naturalized player?
What's my expectation? I always have higher expectation, no matter if it's the college basketball or international wise. So I'm really, because they're going for the 2023. Is it Asia Cup, right? Yeah, World Cup. So be able to help the Philippines being in let's say in a higher rank in internationally is one of my goals. If you can go for the goal or whatever, even if it sounds crazy, it always been my dream. So I really pray God every single time, to help me and help everybody, and especially this country, to be able to reach that. It's not a process, but it's something that I really want, to do.
How much has Coach Tab told you about your role that might be in the future with the Gilas national team? Like what other skills would you need to bring to the team, knowing that this is going to be the highest level of basketball that you'll have to play?
As a player, he always wanted me to be a complete player who can be able to do everything on court, especially to have a wide vision of the game, not just not just create, but not also be a scoring player, but also to create for others, see the open and the let's say the open play of the game, or every single details of the game, because he's more about details. So he really knows, and then otherwise bring my game to the next level. I have to check my shooting skills, and not just that. Like there's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
When it's about basketball, the defense then has to be there. I have to improve in defense and it's basically everything.
All right. Well, before I end this interview, but the naturalization process is going to be there. It's going to ask a lot from you. The question I want to ask you now is: Are you happy, just in case it pushes through, to be a Filipino? And what do you like about being a Filipino, and what you don't like about being a Filipino?
I super like it. I super like it, and hopefully it's gonna end up soon. What I like about the Philippines is the culture, because most of them is a bit the same as my hometown. When you talk about the food, tradition, when there is like different culture, let's say the Ilocano and whatever. So it's basically the same, and when I see around, it's beautiful. The Philippines is beautiful, and it's not just Manila, but beautiful. What I hate about it is, I know everybody hated the traffic in Manila.
Well, when I accompanied Marcus Douthit in Congress to become a Filipino, and he was naturalized, one thing that we asked him is that he must remember the Lupang Hinirang, the national anthem of the Philippines. And I'm sure by this time you've been advised to also sing that song. Right?
I'm still learning. I'm in the learning.
But you'll get there.
The word is so complicated, So listen to the audio and try to pronounce it is kind of two different things.
Yeah.
But I'm learning. I'm getting there.
That's good enough for us, and we know that if that happens, you're going to be a proud Filipino, and it'll be prouder for you that you're going to be helping the national team. And Kwame, thanks so much. We look forward to the restart of the UAP. We don't know what's going to happen, but certainly when the UAP starts, you're going to be the center of attraction. Maraming salamat, Ange, for this interview. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Ingat.
Taon-taon, sinisikap ng Philippine Blood Center at Alagang Kapatid Foundation Incorporated na matulungan ang ating mga kapatid na nangangailangan ng dugo. At ngayong taon, kaharap ang isang krisis, tuloy pa din tayong tutugon with our voluntary blood donation drive. Let's donate safe blood to save lives. See you kapatid at the Philippine Blood Center, Quezon Avenue, Quezon City on July 26 mula 8 a.m. hanggang 12 noon.
Sa Oplan Ascenso, pag-uusapan na ang mga isyung may kinalaman sa perang pinaghirapan mo. Where will it go? How will it grow? Feeling rich and curious na sina Gerard de la Peña at Michelle Orosa sa coolest business ideas, hottest business news, dahil bagay sa'yo ang mag-level up sa buhay. Oplan Ascenso, tuwing Sabado, alas 12 ng tanghali hanggang alas 2 ng hapon. Plan your Oplan na. Ascenso is just around the corner sa Radyo 5 at 1PH sa Signal Channel 1.
Taon-taon, sinisikap ng Philippine Blood Center at Alagang Kapatid Foundation Incorporated na matulungan ang ating mga kapatid na nangangailangan ng dugo. At ngayong taon, kaharap ang isang krisis, tuloy pa din tayong tutugon with our voluntary blood donation drive. Let's donate safe blood to save lives. See you kapatid at the Philippine Blood Center, Quezon Avenue, Quezon City on July 26 mula 8 a.m. hanggang 12 noon.
Teka, usapang technology na. Sa panahon ngayon, napakabilis ng takbo ng buhay at mas mabilis sa mga pagbabago sa teknolohiya. Nakakahabol ka ba? I-take up na natin ang latest news, personalities, issues, tips, trivia tungkol sa technology, internet, cyber issues at social media. Tech Sabado, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi. Kasama ang ating techie kapatid na si Jing Garcia at tech journalist attorney Melvin Kalimag. Nakakatawa, nakakaaliw, nakakamangha, nakaka-nosebleed ba? Tech Sabado. Nakakatekot? Na. Tech Note para wag mahuli sa Radyo 5 at 1PH sa Signal Channel 1.
COVID-19. Reminders from DOH. Tamang paggamit ng mask. Makakatulong ang pagsuot ng surgical mask para maiwasan ang pagkalat ng mga viruses na nagdudulot ng nakakahawang sakit tulad ng COVID-19. At para ito ay maging epektibo, narito ang tamang paraan ng paggamit nito. Una, hawakan ng mask sa strap at siguraduhin natatakpan nito ang bibig at ilong. Tandaan na ang white side ng mask ang nasa loob at ang blue o ang may kulay na side ang nasa labas. Sunod ay imolde ang nosepiece ayon sa hugis ng iyong ilong. Sa paghubad ng face mask, sa strap ito hawakan at saka itapon sa tamang basurahan. Huwag kalimutan na maghugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig.
Basta't laging handa at sama-sama, kaya natin to. Isang mahalagang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Pananaw sa buhay.
Save now, enjoy later, or spend now, struggle later.
Buhay at hanap buhay.
Mahirap maging successful kung hindi mo lang alam kung anong ginagawa mo.
Laging maaliwalas. Laging positibo.
Income minus savings equivalent to expense, pero it's not the principle alone eh. How does that principle apply to your life?
Gagabayan ka ni Wealth and Life Coach Ching Kitan para makaahon sa problema. Dahil ikaw ang dapat kumilos. Ikaw ang gagawa ng paraan dahil kaya mo yan. Tuwing linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 8 ng umaga.
Point A to point Z, tuturuan ko po kayo kung paano mag-start ng business.
Think positive. Bawal ang kukontra, bawal ang nega.
Hindi na bale, nawala akong iPhone. Basta, meron lang akong e-phone.
Sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Dito nagsimula ang lahat. Muling umibig at humanga.
Hindi naman itong unang beses.
Sa ganda at karisma ni Marimar.
Marimar, Costanita soy.
Ipinagmamalaking ihandog ng TV5 ang primera klaseng teleserye.
Ako lang ang reyna ng mansyon.
Nabibida tuwing umaga. Ang kwentong minahal natin. Mula noon
Ikaw lang.
hanggang ngayon.
Napakaganda mo. Ay naku, Marimar, binobola ka lang, naniwala ka naman.
Marimar, Monday to Friday, 10:30 ng umaga, on 5.
Ang kasama po natin ngayon, The Fast and the Furious, Mark Kagiwa and JJ Helterbrand. Magandang gabi, guys.
Magandang gabi rin sa inyo lahat dyan, sa mga nakikinig.
Very nice to see all of you, the both of you. What have you been doing, first of all? Kamustahan lang. Kamusta? Jay, what have you been doing lately?
Not much. Don't really go out much. Stay home and just try to stay in shape and, do a lot of home workouts. Really pretty scared to go out and go do stuff. So every once in a while, not too much.
Mark?
Same thing. Try to stay at home. I'm scared of that COVID, so try to stay at home as much as possible. So if only time I'll go out is when we need something for the house.
And it's obvious that you're also both waiting for the restart of at least Mark, ikaw sa basketball, and Jay, you're also looking forward to that, obviously. But today, I just wanted to go back a little bit. In the history of the PBA, and I have been involved in the PBA for so long, from the time I was a broadcaster all the way to the time I was commissioner, and I have never seen a tandem as popular as the two of you. I mean, I say that from the bottom of my heart. I've covered so many tandems. You talk about the tandems of the Bruce brothers that you remember we remember Magsanok and Paras. But we have, and of course, the most recognizable tandem was Jaworski and Arnaiz. But when you talk about two of the most popular players that were, recognized as a tandem, kayong dalawa, Mark and Jay. Now, I want to ask you, where did this chemistry come from? What do you think made you click among the fans and made you so popular? I'll start with you, siguro, Jay. Sige, Mark, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jay. I don't know if he remembers it. I remember it. So go ahead. Okay. For me, was actually like Endeavor was really expecting a lot from me. They were talagang, because my first game, my second game, they were parang like I didn't show anything, and they actually had like after those two games, we went out. They took me to dinner, and they were like, you know what? I know you're not performing. Parang hindi, parang basically saying parang nagkamali kami sa'yo. So you know what? So parang, and then on the third game, it was an out of town game against Tanduay, sa Pangasinan, and JJ was my roommate. And siguro after that, getting to know JJ, and we talked for hours. I don't even think we slept. We were just talking for so long that I know. And then I think from that right there, we became roommates. We became best friends. After that, we just clicked, just like that.
So does that mean, Jay, that you did not know each other prior to that? I mean, it was just a natural thing that came along as you worked with each other?
Yeah, I never knew Mark in the States. I never heard of him. Like I told people before, Mark wasn't our first choice. It was Mark Rayback. Mark Rayback was our first choice. And Shell ended up picking him. And so we settled for Mark. So I think the reason why the fans enjoy our style of play is because we're very up tempo. We like the run and gun. We like the fast break type of plays, and I think that's for the fans. They found that really, really exciting, and they saw our chemistry and our bond, and I think it just translated in the way we played. We went out there and we really enjoyed playing, and you can see that the fans could see that we were having as much fun playing as they were watching the game, and I think that's what made it special.
That's true. Of course, those were the days where Ginebra was in a drought. I mean, from 1997 to 2004, and that was about the time you came in. Ginebra did not win a championship. They were contending, but they were never a champion. And the two of you came in almost at the same time. Of course, you came in, Jay, 2000 as a direct hire. Mark came in 2001 as part of a draft. But it was certainly a build-up. Now, let me ask you, the two of you, what did you like or hate about each other? I mean, you became very close, but when you started working with each other, Jay, for instance, what did you like about Mark, and what did you hate about him?
Well, I saw a lot of myself in him. We were very competitive, even though me and him were really close. In practice, we would really go at each other. I mean, there was no way that I was going to let my team, because coach would put me on the opposite team, and he would always put me and Mark go against each other. And what I hated was losing to him, because the whole time that, if we lose, the loser has to run suicides. And the whole time, he's talking noise, and you can hear his mouth running. And that's all that really pushed me to really, go hard and go hard every practice. I think our practices back then were harder than the games. And I'm not talking just me and him. I'm talking about with Eric, Rudy, Sunday, Ronald, all those guys. I mean, we all competed.
Billy was there. They would know Billy and Rudy would go at it. Tubid would try to fight Rudy and try to fight Billy Mamarillo. and our practice was just crazy. And it's like that every single day.
Every day.
We always talk about that, and it's
So,
really.
so what did you like about Jay, Mark? And what did you hate about him?
Same. Just siguro, we're both competitive, and at times we hated each other. You know what? We would look like we were gonna fight. We would go face to face and be like, we look like we're gonna parang magsusubukan. But just in the court, and everyone sees it. But at the end of practice, we would go out and go eat together, and it was just like that. We this is what you call we basically just leave everything on the floor, and then when we don't take anything personal.
Yeah, we are.
Go ahead, Jay.
I just remember like what he was talking about. I think it was during the semis or something. And again, coach put us on the opposite team, and my team ended up beating Mark's team. And so I was talking noise. Mark got mad. He was like, "So this is what you want to do? You want to?" He said something to that effect. And me and him got face to face. We were ready to go to blows. And I think after the guys saw that, how intense we were, we ended up winning the series because we were down in that series. I think they saw that, and they saw like how bad we wanted to win, and I think it rubbed off on the other guys.
Yeah, I think that's the game. That's the playoffs when we were down 0-2 with San Miguel. Is that it, Jay? I think that's the one. And then after that, we turned it around and then won 4 straight.
Alam mo, I was just watching The Last Dance again, and one of the instances there na talagang nakakatuwa was when Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr came to blows. And you know how big Michael Jordan is and Steve Kerr was or is, but sabi nga ni Steve Kerr, at least I stood up to him, and after that the respect was there, And obviously it was because both of them were both perfectionists and they pushed each other to play, very well. So, and that's exactly why the moniker Fast and Furious, came about. I suppose it was natural for the two of you, but before that moniker was born, you were called the Bandana Brothers. What was your reaction when you were called Bandana Brothers?
Siguro, I think. Do you remember that, Jay? I think I told JJ to wear headband too, right? Did I tell you that? Because No Fear, No Fear back then was the one that wanted to, put a headband on me so they could see that No Fear in front of that. They could see that logo. And so I guess, I guess that's what started it. And I told JJ and JJ wanted a headband too. I was like, yeah, man. So I guess
did you like that moniker, JJ?
Not one of my favorites. I like Fast and the Furious better. I think it fits us. But it's not up to us.
Yeah. Well, the fans loved it definitely. Mark, you came into the league in 2001. Where there was no rookie camp. You were a virtual unknown. I remember that because I was broadcasting. And when we picked you up, I remember hosting the draft that night, and nobody knew who Mark Kagiwa was. And I think that particular instance, after that, when you played so well in your rookie year and you won the Rookie of the Year, that was when it all changed, because then people realized you cannot hide the team. So I want to ask the two of you, and Jay, you were also a direct hire coming out of the NBA, and you were directly hired by Ginebra. I want to ask the two of you, who scouted you and brought you to the PBA? Mark.
For me, it was Ron Howard. He's a good friend of Coach Ron Jacobs, and I think Paul Howard. Paul Howard, yes. Yeah, Paul Howard, and he was the one that scouted me back in Glendale College. So, and I think he referred me to. I'm not sure if it was. I think Ginebra, Shane Tominga Ginebra, and then I think the story. Talking Tex was the one that really sent me to come here to play, and I really thought I was gonna play for them. But I ended up playing for Ginebra. And
good thing. I would have murdered you. Good thing.
Here we go. Oh my God.
Jay, sino naka-discover sa iyo, Jay? How did you come in and play first with the Batangas Blades?
I was scouted by a guy by the name of Rolando Hiso. He was
Okay, yeah.
he was the coach of the cycling team back then.
Yeah.
He saw me play in a Phil-Am tournament in Chicago. So he contacted me, and I think he showed my my VHS tape back then to
VHS tape.
yeah, he showed my VHS highlight tape. So I think same thing, Coach Ron, and I think he watched it with Boss Henry, and they flew me out, and I tried out, and the rest was history.
Terrific, and no one has regretted that decision ever since. You came into Ginebra. That's your first and last team that you ever played with in the PBA. Obviously, that's why the fans are so enamored by you. But you came at a time where it was the post-Jaworski era. It was a time when Coach Sonny had slowly let go of Ginebra, and the torch had been passed. How difficult was it to inherit a team that had the handprints, the imprints of the Big J and everyone else, Paul David, and everyone else in that very famous Ginebra decade? I'll start with you, JJ.
Well, for me, it wasn't that difficult because I didn't really focus on that. I just focused on playing the game and trying to play it in the right way, in the right manner. And I think, the fans really saw how much we wanted to win, how much we wanted to compete, and how much we wanted to bring a championship back to Ginebra. And nothing was really forced. We just did it out of competitiveness because it's what we wanted to do, and we weren't really trying to prove anything. And just by playing your game, I think we were able just to go out there and contribute the best that we could. And just God bless us with great teammates, great coaches, great management that we were able to win all those championships. And we got, after that first one, we got people's attention and really started to turn things around for the franchise again.
Many people said it, Mark, that you were the heir apparent to the Big J.
Yes, same thing with JJ. We didn't really think about that. Siguro, we both hated losing, and the fans and everyone could see that we just, that's why they call me the Furious, because I get mad, and whenever we lose, they parang nakikita nila yung ni Coach Sonny dun sa amin, sa paglaban namin. We hate losing. When you see us down by 20, parang automatic sa amin is to fight back. And same thing with Coach Sonny. He doesn't like yung mga fans na mga nanonood. I mean, di ba? Sa mahal na yung ticket eh. And then when di ba, hindi ka naman pwede magpatalo ng tatambakan ka. At least lumabang ka. And we have the same attitude as Coach Sonny had. So
well, tatlong taon, halos 4 na taon kay JJ that you had to wait before your first championship. It came in 2004 in the transition conference. And that was a time when there was a lot of changes in Ginebra. You had a new coach in Shot Tankinsen. You traded Jun Limpot for Andy Siegel. Picked up a guy like Rodney Santos during the time, and everyone else, and all the different pieces came along. But what do you think was the turning point? Because everybody knew you were talented, but it was only after so many years that ended a 7-year drought na finally nanalo ang Ginebra. What do you think was the turning point there in that year, Mark?
Go ahead, Jay. Let me see. I want to hear JJ's answer.
I think for me it was I think this was like the first time me and Mark really got to play together, as in like major minutes, and I think that really fueled the fire for our team, because I really felt that me and Mark really had something to prove, and I think it started that whole it snowballed into having a championship team, and like you said, all those guys coming in and really guys like Rodney Santos, who was a great veteran, a great teammate, someone who really showed us the ropes, as well as, Val David, that was one of my mentors as well, that taught me how to play the point guard position in the PBA. And but when we got more minutes playing together, it really allowed us to shine. And I think that was a turning point, because we were able to really, Coach gave us that freedom to go out there and play the way that, we could play. And we didn't hold back. We weren't worried about, if I mess up, I'm going to get taken out the game. It was no more. It was play your game, go out there and lead the team, and we'll just see what happens. We're going to live and die with you guys. And I think when your coaches give you that type of confidence, man, you don't want to let them down. You don't want to, give them a reason to doubt. And so when we got that opportunity, I think we just ran with it.
Mark?
Yeah, same. I think, with JJ, I think he even came out I think he went to the States, and then he came back.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a new coach. And for me, I think JJ was a different player prior to, I think it was Coach Allen at that time. Pero with Coach Shaw, he basically just gave him the ball and said, you know what, J Mark, just go ahead. You guys run the team, and you guys call whatever play you guys want to play. But he basically said it like that. So, with JJ, he kind of needed that, just to let loose, and basically that's what happened. He let loose, and
so are you saying, Mark, that it was in 2004 na sa wakas yung team ng Ginebra was handed to the two of you? That's your team now.
Basically, I would say, yeah. We, me and Jay always talk about this. Parang, all right, now we got this team. Let's take care of it. Parang ganun ba?
Well, after that, you had 3 years where you were scoring champion, and Ginebra was always in the title hunt. Of course, you had that back-to-back championships in 2004 and 2005, but and you almost had a Grand Slam. That was during my commissionership. That was the final time when the 3-conference format was going to be done, and you almost had that, but you were thwarted by Red Bull at that time. And your battles with Red Bull has been legendary. Do you recall any? I mean, would you say that Red Bull was the
to us they were like they were like the Piston of back then. I think Topex was talking about that. I read it on Spin, but they were really. They had Enrico, they had Homer, they had Junti. They even have Lordy. Lordy Tugade wasn't even a dirty player, but he became dirty. And you have Celino Cruz. Oh man, I could name all of them. It's just every guy that was playing for them, it was just enough. But it was probably one of my most favorite team to play, because they gave it all, and you got to respect that.
Jay, do you remember your battles with Coach Yengia, who was on the side always against you?
Yeah, definitely, man. They like Mark said, Celino, and I remember even playing against Jimwell Turion,
yes,
Mick Panisi. I hated playing those guys, because he was just like, you better have your technical money ready, because anytime you're ready to go to blows with these guys. And they had a lot to prove. We had a lot to prove, and actually one of my favorite championships was when we beat them in the finals. It was one of the best feelings, and actually I couldn't stand Mick Panisi. If it wasn't for us playing on the national team, me and him would have been friends. But I'll tell you a story. During the national team, we became teammates. So the first thing that he did, when we first practice we had, he came up to me and was like, "All right, hey, are we good? Are we good?" He wanted to squash it right away, because there was already bad blood between me and Nick. So right away, after that, I found out he's the nicest guy you can ever meet. It's crazy how he can be so nice and be such a demon on the court.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, well,
exactly.
That is Red Bull. You know, they're terrific people off the court, but when they get on the court, you just don't know them. But
Every single one of them.
every one of them. Alam mo, ang isa pang sabi ko nga, you were denied the Grand Slam that year. And, you know, now people talk about the Grand Slam being the benchmark for, you know, saying that this was a great team. Do you think that should be a benchmark for you know, judging whether, you know, you will be part of the conversation as one of those that are the greatest teams of all time? Mark?
I guess so. I mean, like you know, our time is parang yung ginawa ng Pure Foods. You know, they had that Grand Slam, and you know, for them doing it 4 in a row, I mean, I don't think anyone did that, diba? I mean, their Grand Slam is you know, you can remember it. Dahil kasi they won 4 straight. So I would say they're, you know, and in our time, siguro sila yung pinaka, you know, most dominated na team at that time.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, no? Because if you look at the history of the PBA, in the 70s, there was Crispa that won a Grand Slam. In the 80s, there were 2 teams that won a Grand Slam, the 83 Crispa and the 89 San Miguel. In the 90s, there was the Alaska team that won in 1996. In the 2000 to 2010, there was none. It was in 2013 when Pure Foods won their Grand Slam. Right. So they called that particular decade, 2000 to 2010, a decade of parity. Some people are saying that, but because parity, because a lot of teams, according to the statistics, about 60% of the teams won at least one championship during that time. Some people are saying that it's good for the league. Some are saying that it's good to have a dominant team during a particular season. What do you think? Dapat ba na merong katulad ng San Miguel that has been dominating? Or do you think that, you know, parity in the league is something that we should all strive for? Jay?
I don't know. For me personally, I really believe it's funner when you have a lot of teams that can compete for the championship. So it'll be a mystery that you know, who's going to win. But when you have teams that are super dominant, super teams, for me, it just takes the fun out of it. You know, it takes the as a fan, looking at it as a fan, you know, it takes the mystery and the excitement out of it. Because if they win, you're gonna say, yeah, they're supposed to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I was a player and I'm part of that team, then I'd be like, hey,
why not?
You gotta make your team stronger. It ain't my fault. You know, I'm trying to win championships. But
you get all the championship bonuses. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, as a player, I'm all for it. But as a fan, I'm on the opposite side of that.
Mark?
To me, I think I gotta disagree a little bit with JJ on that, because I don't know if he remembers, because basically that San Miguel team that they had was Talking Tex had that type of team. I mean, you had Jimmy Alapag, you had Willie Miller, you had Renren as a shooter, and you have Asi basically dominating, scoring 55 points, 50 points, 40 points every single night. And with us, we didn't have anyone. But, you know, like that competitiveness of just parang giving in, like, malakas naman tong team na to. You know what? Kung matalo tayo, it's okay. But me and him, we didn't have that attitude. You know, we had that attitude like, okay, gusto kayo yung pinakamalakas na team, kahit sinong gusto yung player na kinukuha nyo lahat ng malakas. And our attitude was like, we want to beat them, and we do. You know, not being mayabang, but you know, we wouldn't have that hindi kami gaano malakas, but we would beat their team. Yung pinakamalakas na team sa at that time was that Talking Tex, and we would beat them.
Well, clearly, that was part of the reason why you were so popular, because of that never say die attitude that has always been mentioned.
And I still don't want the players now that are saying that sobrang lakas ng San Miguel. I'm like, man, you guys are basketball players too. They're not from Mars, or they don't have no green blood, diba? They bleed just like you. You know what I mean? So if you can beat them, beat them.
Yeah.
Don't have that thinking saying that what, malakas naman sila. They got Junmar, they got this, they got that. No, you just find a way to beat them, and that's the little things you gotta do.
Well, I mentioned kanina that you were denied a Grand Slam back in 2005. Tim Cone has always had a Grand Slam with every team that he has handled. Alaska in '96, Pure Foods in 2013. So I ask you, this is a team that you have that is super strong. I mean, I think you're as strong as any other team in the PBA. Mark, are you looking forward to a Grand Slam?
Yes. I hope so. When you're old like this and you're just on the back seat, just watching, of course, you want to get as much as championship as you can, right? So.
And Jay, do you think Ginebra has the tools to win a Grand Slam?
Yeah, I think they have all the tools to get a Grand Slam. And then they still got, Justin coming back as the import. We got great players, upcoming players, great coaching. So I mean, they have the recipe to win a Grand Slam. So I hope they can do it.
Well, we're all looking forward to the day that we can play again. But again, as we look at the future here, guys, we all know that just like what is happening in the NBA, if you even restart playing again, obviously there will be no fans. And your coach Yang Giao has already said that Ginebra is losing its home court advantage. Do you believe that, Mark and Jay? Do you think that this will have an impact on your game, that there will be no fans to be cheering Ginebra every night?
I think if me and JJ was playing now, and we were so used to with fans every time, siguro I think now kasi medyo yung ibang hindi naman medyo sanay naman sila kasi yung ibang galing sa ibang team. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na wala silang fans sa I'm just saying. But I think people will plus yung sistema ni Coach Tim is not about the fans. I mean just with his system and basta iba yung sistema ni Coach Tim it's you don't think about the people in the stands, the people that are watching. It's gonna come. You're gonna win games. You gotta do this. You gotta be here. You gotta so it's really different.
Jay, do you think you will lose home court advantage for Ginebra?
Yeah, I think that's a big factor. Because like you said, every time that we play, it's like you're having a home court advantage, and that's what in the NBA. That's how important that is. That's what the placing is for you to get that home court advantage, because it gives you it lifts you up whenever your team is down, and it pushes you whenever the fans are out there cheering for you. So I definitely think it's going to be sort of an equalizer for the other teams. Not having those fans in the stands going crazy. For me, I think it's going to have a big effect on the team. But they're professionals. Again, they have to play through it and find a way to still win that championship without them. But it's going to be hard. That's the sixth man of Ginebra. So
I know exactly. Well, we will see how it goes. But I'm wondering kasi meron sinabi si Steven Adams of the Oklahoma Thunder. He said that without the fans ngayon, mas naririnig daw ng mga referees yung mga utterings ninyo, and you might get more texts now. Kasi walang maingay. Especially for Ginebra. Pag nagreklamo kayo nung araw, sinisigaw ang tao, no? Eh ngayon, pag
Yeah.
nagreklamo ka, maririnig ng referee yung technical kagad. That's just a joke. Okay, let me just go to a few more topics here, Mark and Jay. You know, we've seen in the NBA how they've used their platform for social issues. They've come out with a very strong voice. Do you think that the players in the Philippines, I've seen this, you know, some of you guys have come out very strongly to support the Black Lives Matter movement in the US about racial discrimination and social injustice. Do you think that the players in the Philippines now, even with everything that's happening around you, has that responsibility to use the platform in a particular way, because you guys are obviously being followed by a lot of people? Mark?
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I believe you have to. Whenever players have a chance to use that platform for the betterment of the society and for justice, I think people have to speak up, because we have that responsibility for people that look up to us to go out there and you know, stand up for things that's not right, and we have to use that in order to, you know, get some notice. And we all know what's going on. If it's wrong, people got to step up and say something. We can't just sit back and allow it to happen and not do anything. So people who have the platform, I really believe, should. And you know, I give credit to the NBA for doing that, and also, you know, the PBA is very good at that as well.
Same. I think you know, when that happened with the George Floyd, I mean, you know, you see Joe, Gabe, and them. You know, they all took a knee, and everyone, I know, got together, and you know, that's the kind of platform that we have, and you know, and they're using it para makita ng mga tao that they're, you know, para bang, you know, nagtutulungan sila.
Yeah. Well, you know, clearly it's the voice of everyone collectively that makes it even stronger. At pag kayo nagsalita, marami nakikinig. You know, before, I have final two questions for you, Mark, especially for you. Is there a concern about the restart of the PBA with the cases going up? Do you think that this it's going to take a lot longer than expected? What do you think?
It's medyo parang mix eh. You know, we're all new. We're all new to this, so hindi natin alam. You know, we like 2 weeks ago, we parang alam namin na this week we were gonna start practice, and from what's happening now, parang medyo malabo eh. Medyo kasi tumataas yung ano ng COVID. So we really don't know. And with the PBA, syempre, you know, with the commissioner Willie Marshall, he's really taking it. He actually talked to us, and para bang and how do you guys feel? What, you know, para bang how do you feel if we're gonna start here or if we're gonna start next week? He wants to know. He talks to all the players and to the leaders of the of that team. And maganda yun kasi dahil yung ginagawa niya, he wants to know kung ano yung feel ng mga players, kung komportable sila o ano, kasi syempre you don't know when you're gonna start.
And what did you say? What do you think? Should you start?
For me, if they say na kung kasi meron naman mga protocols na diba? And you gotta follow, and you gotta follow all the guidelines. And meron naman, hindi naman kayo magpa-practice na limahan ka agad. It'll be three para bang 3 players, and then you have like an officer to watch you kung kung magkakadikit-dikit kayo or para bang yung referee nyo. So may mga ganun type na mga guidelines. So I think you know, and we're gonna need that. Kasi pag merong isang mahawa dyan, and that's it. Di ba? Hawa-hawa na yan.
Well, we certainly look forward to the day that the PBA will restart. But before I leave and before I let you go, guys, I want to ask you, the Fast and the Furious will always be, you know, known and remembered by many, many fans no matter what happens, you've been with your team for the longest time. 20 years for you, Mark. Jay, you were there for 17 years. And obviously the loyalty to the Ginebra fans and the team is very, very obvious. What do you think is the legacy that the Fast and the Furious leaves behind? Hindi lamang sa mga fans, kung hindi sa mga susunod pa sa Ginebra, sa inyong mga lugar. Jay, I'll start with you.
Oof, that's a good question, man. I guess the legacy that we want to leave behind is just to go out there and give it your all and compete, and to really treasure, the moment that you have playing for that team, because it's nothing like it, and really take advantage of it, and just give it your all, and just keep that never say die spirit alive. Once you're there, keep it going. Just like that's what I see in Scotty, man. That's why Scotty for me is he's got that NSD blood running through his veins, because that's how he plays. You can see it. And for all the younger players that are coming to the Ginebra team, that's a responsibility that they got to take. They got to come in there with that NSD attitude, NSD mindset, and remember the people that paved the way for them. Coach Sonny, Val, the Tank, Marlou, all those guys. You got to, and then me and Mark. You got to remember those things and then carry that torch. Keep that NSD alive, going long as possible.
Mark?
Yeah, just like what JJ said, just that we, just want to be remembered that kung anong ginawa ni Coach Sonny, that just had that never say die spirit, and just keep it going. And, sana makita ng mga players na same yung kung ano yung nakita nila kay Coach Sonny through, Val, through us, and then to the players now, diba? And I hope for them to keep it going.
Well, I'm sure they will remember. They will remember your legacy. And if there are only 2 jerseys that have been ever retired by Ginebra, number 7 and number 8, I think 13 and 47 should follow.
Oh yeah.
At the right time.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For joining us today.
Thank you. God bless. Stay safe.
Ang ating po mga kaibigan, ang The Fast and the Furious, JJ Helterbrand and Mark Aguiwa, isa sa mga paborito nating tandem sa PBA. Alright mga kaibigan, tapos na po tayo. Medyo nag-overtime tayo. But before we go, marami nag-aabang nito yung pong bibigyan natin ng bisikleta ngayong linggong pong ito sa ating padyak para sa Bagbangon, Bisikleta Alay sa iyo. Ang una po natin bibigyan ay isang online seller na kailangan ng bisikleta from Santa Ana, Manila, si Jillian Cabaltera. At ang pangalawa po natin bibigyan, isang nurse mula naman sa Pasig City, si Mark Louie Baliatan. Again, Jillian Cabaltera at si Mark Louie Baliatan. Ikikwento natin ang kanilang mga storya next week po sa pagbabalik ng Power and Play. By the way, maraming salamat sa Snooze Manila. Nagbebenta po ng sleepwear and casual clothing, like their Facebook page, Snooze Manila, at follow sa Instagram at snooze.manila. Alright, marami pong salamat sa lahat po sa inyo na sumubaybay. Thank you so much sa Radyo 5 for the added time. Ako po si Noli Yala, lagi nagsasabi tuwing Sabado po, bawal ang masungit, at sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Happy Sports Weekend, mga kapatid.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala. Game over na. Next Saturday ulit, Noli Iyala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Transmitting live from our brand new studios at TV5 Media Center in Reliance, Mandaluyong. By